Howdy, folks. I'm your host, Liz, and this is the Pinfall Podcast. And I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Marcus.
Hey, it's me, Marcus.
Happy NXT Day. Happy I didn't notice too many awful changes today.
Didn't really notice any changes at all.
Yeah,
Big
besides the
focus,
lack of Cole.
big focus on Rich Holland. Um, and Oni, Lorcan, and Danny Burch are back.
Oni, I realize now they're probably keeping Oni off TV because they wanted him to come back with Ridge. Fucking Danny. Jesus H.
That is exactly what I said would happen, what they were doing, and then you said, "Oh no, Danny's like months out from coming back." Like,
because we thought he was.
Yeah, it was a shockingly he returned very soon. That's what I'm trying to say. Much sooner than anticipated.
I was gonna say, when Oni came out, I was like, oh, thank God Oni's back. Like, maybe it was just like something went on, like family stuff or health stuff that like he just couldn't be at tapings. And then Danny was there. I was like, wait, there's one bald guy that I recognize, and then there's one orange bald man.
Yeah, the brand is back. Without Pat McAfee.
They've got Rich Holland, which is basically the same difference.
British Pat McAfee.
I've broken some rules. I have a sweet apple scented candle.
What?
I can tell you ghost stories.
What rule did you break?
You said I couldn't cut the line of candles, order of the candles that need to be used up.
So you admit it. Okay.
Oh, I thought you were just confused. I didn't realize that was a test.
Little column A, little column B. But yeah, so this is a fun episode. Not too much big stuff happened. Amazing main event match. Legado vs Hit Row was phenomenal.
That was
We had the final to the NXT Breakout tournament, which was great. Carmelo Hayes came out on top. And he didn't announce who he wants to challenge, which will be very interesting because it means it'll be like a surprise announcement.
I bet it'll be Joe, because he's just proven that he can beat bigger guys.
Yeah, or the Cruiserweight title. To get a bigger push to the Cruiserweight title.
The what now?
Yeah, the title that's going to be phased out soon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Vince wants it to be on Carmelo so that they can kiss both of them goodbye when it comes release time.
Stop. So much pain.
Yeah, so what else happened? The announcement of Indy Hartwell and Dexter Lumis's wedding was announced September 14th. There's gonna be an open challenge next week from Roderick Strong. I think that's all the big. Oh, Ted DiBiase gave a little swerve, handed Cameron Grimes a replica Millionaire Championship. Yeah, not too much. We got a bunch of people announcing themselves as challengers to Samoa Joe now, which that will be awesome. Hope we get some kind of contenders matches that aren't against
like
Joe.
A battle royale.
That'd be fun.
Like the last four or something have like a 4-way.
Or like right off the heels of the Breakout tournament, we get another tournament.
I mean, they can also use the faces from the Breakout tournament.
Yeah.
Do you not get it?
I actually don't.
You said right off the heels of the Breakout tournament.
Oh. So, news?
Yes. Quite, not quite a bit of news, but average amount of news. Cool. Yeah, let's start with, bookmarks. The first name for the AEW Women's Casino Battle Royale was set. This is for people who have not watched Dark, me specifically. Nyla Rose is officially going to be the first one, or rather, she's going to be the buy-in. The Casino Battle Royale. That's interesting. Then everything else we have today is WWE news. Very specifically.
Not all of it though. Not all of it.
If you have more.
Matt Lee from 2.0 is now a father.
So is Alex Reynolds.
Oh yeah. Look at them.
Babies have the same birthday now.
Meanwhile, Alex Reynolds is on BTE flirting with Leva Bates.
Alex, no. So, first piece of news, let's start with some NXT news. There's a lot of talk about using Walter on NXT more consistently. It seems that they specifically want to use him on NXT, US NXT more often. Not NXT UK. I think they're saying that that's just fine enough. But in spite of upper level people saying that, Walter has actually doubled down on his stance of he does not want to move to America. I really don't fucking blame him.
And a dude like Walter can definitely have a say in where he wants to live because the dude is untouchable in
He's known everywhere
like
too, so like he could fit into literally any promotion.
Yeah.
There's also news that Kaylee Ray is going to be on NXT for good. She's not going back to the UK. It's official. Which is interesting. I'm excited to see where that goes.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's also a rumor killer out now saying that NXT did not actually end its relationship with Full Sail. Last week, there was news that they had, which had been the home of NXT since 2012. At this point, PW Insider reported that numerous sources within NXT and WWE noted that the relationship has not ended. There are no plans to resume tapings there, but there's always the possibility for them to go back.
Right. I've got a little bit of a teensy tiny bit of news.
Wholesale University students work on aspects of the tapings for NXT.
That's cool.
I'm moving to Florida, I think. They go back.
Yeah.
See ya. I'll get that humid weather. I can handle it.
You want to pay for that student debt?
I'm always going to be in debt. Doesn't matter the number.
You just disguise yourself as a student. Pretend to be one.
Come in with like backpack, up my glasses, just like, hey guys, I'm a child too.
Do you want to know my piece of news?
I guess.
So it's very small, but at Dark Elevation yesterday, Anthony Bowens came out to his own theme music. But that's not really the news. The news is it starts with him yelling, "The Acclaimed has arrived." So, the Acclaimed isn't dead, at least as far as this goes. It's just whether or not the Acclaimed will be a solo act of Anthony Bowens, or it's continuing to be him and Max, with Max returning at some point soon.
I don't know, Max Caster's doing the same thing that Adam Cole is doing and getting rumors for. So
Yeah. I feel like Max Caster burned those bridges on social media, but who knows? Could mean nothing at the end of the day.
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know. He's giving me vibes of like went too far, not coming back. That's the point.
He could just be trying to lean into the controversy. Just like take it as far as he can go, make headlines, shit like that.
That's worse.
I mean, as far as like the removing everyone from Twitter, the social media game.
It's like that screen cap from Good Place. The guy's like, that's worse. You understand why that's worse, right?
But Anthony Bowens has been proving to be great in singles. He had a fantastic match against Dante Martin.
Oh, okay. I think I heard about that. For him, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of pissed that he probably knew about the rap too, but whatever. Anywho. So, on top of the NXT Full Sail thing, it appears that I have acid reflux. It appears that I've got acid reflux. That's the news. It appears that right now people are getting removed from shows for potentially spoiling things. Apparently, a reporter from bodyslam.net was removed, and it was under the context of the reporter was potentially being a dirt sheet writer.
Well, if you don't want your taped show to be spoiled, maybe you should do something about that. Either make it live again, or have your audience sign NDAs. It's I think Lucha Underground does that, and TV shows do that. It's normal.
Apparently, JJ Williams from the Wrestling Observer was also removed from an event. Oh, I think that's fucking wild. Like, I get it, but I don't. Like, if you're caught, like, with your camera out, like, at, like, a play, what they do, they say, hey, can you not do that?
Yeah.
Then if you do it again, they're like, hey, okay, now you gotta go. But, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyways, and back to some more WWE news. Apparently, there's absolutely nobody has any idea what's going on with fucking Adam Cole still.
Except for the fact that his contract expires on Friday.
Yeah, so it seems WWE Insider had reported that Cole was a free agent. Fightful said no, he's not. I think Sean Ross Sapp specifically said, I've heard a lot of people saying this, and I've heard a lot of other people saying that's not true.
Yeah, and then PW Insider changed their article.
Correct. They corrected the initial report. And it appears Fightful says that WWE still intends on signing a new contract with him. From a lot of sources that I've heard, it does not sound that way.
Yeah, from a lot of people backstage thought it would be like a given that he would resign, but now it's shifted to where they're unsure at this point if he will.
Yeah.
And that's coming from internally at WWE.
Yeah,
WWE.
It's just I don't see him coming back. I'm sorry. I don't.
I mean, the only thing I could see keeping him is up, up, down, down.
I think there's still a chance. I just think that the allure of the Forbidden Door opening on all these other brands or promotions rather has to be tempting at the very least.
Yeah.
Also, this is not really news, but I found out apparently, according to PW Insider, Corbin obviously had like this whole video package. He was traveling around Las Vegas and like winning money and then losing all his money. I guess they were planning to film with Chris Angel. I used to have the biggest fucking crush on in like middle school. I was obsessed with Chris Angel.
That is
in the
horrifying.
Worst way.
That is horrifying.
And I'll share it with all of you guys.
Oh, God,
no, I was obsessed with him. I don't know why. I watched Mind Freak I had so many backlogged in my dad's DVR that I would just spend entire weekends watching it.
That is insane.
But apparently they were planning to film a spot with Chris Angel while in Vegas, but it does not know. It does not say if they actually did that, if the plans fell through or not.
Right.
Apparently, though, there is a potential twist that they're still waiting on to happen. I know that he lost all the money he got in Vegas, but I guess they were like kind of expecting to plan like a twist where maybe he got rich again. I think he's still in Vegas technically, so I guess we'll find out on Friday.
Yeah, because there was the initial post was him in Vegas with like $100 bill, and then he continued making more, got a new shirt, got a steak dinner with a bunch of women, and then he was at a motel, and he said he lost everything again, and he said something like, "I just work here, like stay away from me, stop recording my everyday life."
Yeah, so it's not clear if they're still going with this twist or not, but I'm interested to see because I just want to find out what the fucking Happy Corbin thing means. My holy grail now.
You gotta let go of these trademarks.
I love the trademarks. They mean so much to me.
I swear to God, if for another news day, if you bring up trademarks that are just renewals, I'm gonna flip. I'm gonna just
what day?
Like whenever you do the news.
But the thing is that if they were renewing I've done reports where I've read articles where it says they renewed these trademarks. I wouldn't just report on stuff willy-nilly if I didn't think that it was real.
Is that news though? Just renewing a trademark?
Yes. Sometimes it means like people's returns are imminent or people are changing gimmicks and stuff like that, and it's interesting to find out. Some of them are stupid. Most
of the time it's just for merch.
Yeah, but also that informs whether people are coming back, because sometimes like when they had Becky Lynch and like they trademarked a ton of shit a couple weeks ago and that clearly proved to be pertinent. Oh. Sometimes the trademarks are like goofy, like trademark Claymore Country. But still.
So, is there any more news?
Yes, there is. I would have told you if we were done. We will have signs one day. If the easel ever comes. Anywho.
Can't believe you got an easel.
I could actually use it for painting though. Just thought about.
Yeah.
That's true. Final piece of news. WWE have officially released the name of their pay-per-view is going to happen on New Year's Day, the first one that they've ever done for that. And it is called Creativity Be Damned. WWE Day One.
Yeah.
And you know exactly how they're going to market it. They're going to be like, start your year off right by watching a WWE pay-per-view. I'm going to be like, that actually sounds like the worst possible idea.
Yeah, at least it's like a new name for pay-per-view. We haven't gotten like a new name in a while.
It's true. Is January 1st Sunday?
Saturday.
It's Saturday. Okay.
Yeah, it's not
God.
a Thursday pay-per-view like Crown Jewel.
Be bonkers though, probably, because like if we've learned anything from our last Saturday pay-per-view.
I mean, aren't they mostly doing Saturdays now? Or wanting
Said
to
that
shift
they were
that way?
trending towards that. Well, when is
I think that's Sunday, Money in the or Extreme Rules. I think.
No, I'm asking when is yeah, when is Extreme Rules? Is that the 25th or 26th?
Don't know.
The 25th is Saturday. 26th is Sunday.
I think it's the 26th. Alright. Any more news? Okay.
And no.
Ah, okay. So, let's get into NXT. Fun show. Very, very fun show. So we started off with Cameron Grimes and Ted DiBiase coming out. And Ted says, Cameron, when I first showed up, everyone was wondering why I'm here. In due time, everyone realized I was looking for a special someone to carry on the $1 million legacy. Whoever that person was would have to be very strong of body, very strong of mind, and very strong of heart. In addition to being athletically gifted, winners never quit and quitters never win. You kept getting back up. You are the $1 million champion. Cameron says, if I were to be completely honest, when you showed up, you drove me nuts. Ted says, on purpose. It was a test. Cameron says, I'm glad you gave me that test. I was starting to lose sight. When looking at the zeros in my bank account, I didn't have an accomplishment that made me something. As I was scrubbing toilets, I couldn't let that happen to you too. I couldn't let that dummy have you as his butler. At TakeOver 36, you went out together, took care of LA Knight. I became the $1 million champion. But I have a question. Where do I go now? Ted says, Cameron, we go to the moon. And then we get Hit Row pulling into the CWC. Right before we get Ridge Holland versus Timothy Thatcher.
Yes, we do. Alright, so Tams. Ridge exchange uppercuts for a little while. There's a side headlock on Ridge. They both go at each other with double shoulder tackles. Obviously, neither of them get the upper hand on it. They start exchanging uppercuts again. Ridge goes for an elbow drop, but Thatcher avoids it, and Ridge, in like the sweetest way, just kind of goes like, grabs his elbow and like kind of pouts about it a little bit. And I was like, hey. So Thatcher takes Ridge down. He goes for a knee lock on Ridge. Can't quite get it. Just goes right into the ground and pound. Exchange uppercuts again. Thatcher goes for the backslide, but gets a forearm from Ridge when he comes around to counter the move. Ridge body slams Tim into the ropes. Thatcher then gets the upper hand eventually with some clubbing blows to the back of Holland. It doesn't really matter, though, because there's a big elbow waiting for Thatcher from Ridge. The elbow, however, is also no match for the belly-to-belly suplex that Holland then receives. Thatcher goes for an arm submission hold on Holland, but Ridge isn't allowing it to get locked in. Then a near abdominal stretch, but once again, Holland won't allow it to be locked in. So Tim just knees him in the stomach. Ridge gets a weird arm submission on Tim and throws him overhead in a suplex. The big old lariat to Tim, and it basically takes his head off. Thatcher then body slams Ridge into the ropes. There's a boot to Thatcher and then a failed step-up enziguri. Ridge. It didn't look good. I don't know if Tim intended for it to miss, but it did not look good. Mm-hmm. Ridge then brings Tim up and then down to win. A decent match, in my opinion.
It was alright. It was alright.
There were worse matches, I think.
Yeah. So after that, we get an interview with Carmelo Hayes before the Breakout final. It says, tonight is as big as it gets. This is the biggest opportunity. I never believed myself as an underdog. I believed I'm an overdog. This didn't happen by accident. It was hard work, perseverance. I back up everything I say. You can't prepare for Odyssey Jones. There's nobody like him. I'm going to take this one match at a time. Then we get an interview with Indy Hartwell and Dexter Lumis. She says, I feel incredible. Being loved is one thing. Being engaged is even better. Dexter then hands Mackenzie a wedding invitation, which has the date September 14th on it. And Mackenzie is the first one invited to the wedding. And then we get Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter versus JC Jane and Gigi Dolan.
Casey Jane and Gigi are just not working for me right now.
Yeah.
Personal opinions aside, just not working out for me at all.
Yeah, but I think the longer they're in NXT, I think they'll shape up, start to grow.
Eventually make sense, I'm sure. However, we have Caden versus Gigi to begin. She brings Gigi down by the leg and then drop kicks Jane as she tries to intrude on the match. Casey and Caden then get in the ring together. They pretend to go out, like they're gonna jump out. Don't. Casey's then the legal man or woman, I guess, starts yelling at JC, and Dolan, who's also the legal competitor, sends Casey to the ground while she's distracted. There's a seated senton onto Casey from Dolan, and then a cannonball from Jane as she gets tagged in for the moment. Gigi gets back, and she whips Casey into like a short arm clothesline, and then there's a clubbing blow to the back. Jane gets back in. I don't even know what she did there. She kind of just like, I think she may have kicked Casey, and that was it. Gigi gets back in. There's an assisted clothesline to Casey. Casey is sent ringside. She kind of like sneakily jumps back into the ring and tags in Caden. Caden comes in like a ball of fury, slamming Gigi down, sends her into the corner with Jane, and then hits her with a hip attack. Then Gigi so conveniently falls and like laying down in front of Jane in the corner. Get a drop kick to the face of Jane, and Caden then lands on Dolan. There's a boot across the face to Gigi. She manages to get Jane back in. There's a boot to the face of Caden, who gets Casey back in. And then Casey hits the assisted 450 splash to Jane to win.
Not the only 450 today. Swerve did one.
Oh, I think I knew that. In my notes. I hope it's in my notes.
Then we get an interview with Raquel Gonzalez. She said, I meant every word I said until TakeOver. If I know Dakota, I know this isn't over. It probably is. She's probably on the main roster as we speak. Kaylee Ray, I have been waiting for her. I've heard about her. It makes no difference who steps up now. Frankie then walks in. She says, that's where you're wrong. I'll take your shine and championship in the process. We then get a little Kaylee Ray vignette before we get an interview with Odyssey Jones. He said, tonight is huge, the largest moment of my WWE career. Positivity comes from the negative. Oh god, a notification just went off. That's not good. Hold on, let me just mute that. Alright. Positivity comes from the negative. 5 years ago, I knew I'd be in WWE, but I didn't know it would happen so fast. Taking off the helmet is a different side of me, the football helmet. My game plan is like any other night. Be the best man I can be. I feel like thinking far ahead is too far, or thinking after the match is too far ahead. It's gonna be tough. And then we get Valentina Feroz versus Kaylee Ray in a little showcase match.
Kaylee dodges Valentina before just kind of like fucking wrenching her around. Starts yanking on Feroz's arm, and then Feroz tucks and rolls to dodge Kaylee Ray like 50 fucking times. Ends up sending some elbows to Kaylee, but Kaylee avoids it, pancakes Feroz, hits her with a body slam, or Feroz hits Kaylee with a body slam, sorry. And then Kaylee spikes Valentina's head into the buckles. She whips Feroz into the buckles then, and then there's a drop kick to Kaylee, a super kick to Feroz, and then finally the gory bomb to Feroz to win. Because if you didn't think Kaylee was winning this match, I'm sorry.
It means you're an optimist, and I respect it.
There you go.
So then we had an interview with Gigi, Dolan, and JC. Mandy Rose then walks in and says, "If you never want to feel like this again, come with me." They follow her. We then get Samoa Joe out in the ring. He says, "At NXT TakeOver 36, I stood in this ring across the most dangerous, dominant champion." Let me start over with that. My God. At NXT TakeOver 36, I stood in this ring across the most dominant champion in NXT history. I walked down carrying Cross. I beat him up, and I am the first three-time NXT champion. Believe me, that fact should make tonight a celebration. I didn't come dressed to celebrate. I have the benefit of experience. To be NXT champion is to be king in a land of savages. There was no time for celebrating. When I arrived, I noticed the tension in the air. Handshakes were colder. I came here to ask one question. Who wants to stop staring and step up to me? The champ is waiting. Pete Dunne then walks out and says, You stood face to face with me enough times. I don't care how many times you've been champ. You're not the baddest here. Head to the back, get Regal, make the match. Don't make me provoke." And then LA Knight walks out. "Yes, dummy. Oh yeah. It's nighttime. Nighttime every day is the right time. Hey Joe, dummy. I'm gonna clear up confusing feelings you have. Those chills you feel in your back, those are fear. What you're looking at, dummy, the one and only $1 million megastar. TakeOver 36, I watched you take on who had taken me 43.5 seconds to dust. I'm here to be your first challenger, dummy. Oh yeah. I'll be your last challenger. It's LA Knight's game." He starts to step in the ring, and then Pete Dunne says, "I'll break every one of your fingers if you step closer." He says, "Excuse me, tough guy. I'm just here to chat." What'd you say?
So good for Pete.
Kyle O'Reilly then comes out and says, "Samoa Joseph." I don't know how people fucking knock on this guy. He's so good. He's so good.
Kyle's gone through so much in the last,
48
4 hours, 48 hours, fine.
He says, "We know each other, but LA Knight, you haven't had the pleasure. I won the undisputed finale. You're swindling your way into a title match. The only thing you have a chance of winning is a Steve Austin knockoff vest competition." Law didn't get it. He asked, Joe got it, and he's like, Law didn't get it. Get it? LA, Law. Nice one, Kyle. Hey. Joe, I respect you. And I'm not gonna work for a title match. I earned a title match. But then out of nowhere, Ridge Holland attacks Kyle O'Reilly. Pete charges at Kyle, Pete charges at Joe. Joe turns around, stopping Pete in his tracks. Ciampa comes out of nowhere and attacks Pete. Ridge then helps out Pete, attacking Ciampa. LA Knight then goes after Joe, but Joe counters. And we move on from that. What was LA Knight talking about when he said he dusted Carrion in 43.5 seconds?
Was he talking about the WWE?
He might have been referencing Impact.
That's all I can imagine.
Because I think they were in Impact together. I know they were both in Impact, but I just don't know if it was the same time.
That's what I imagine?
I don't know. I mean, maybe I got the maybe I'm misremembering the quote. But I thought he said it took you you did at TakeOver 36 what took me 43.5 seconds to dust. Let's see. Let me just search up Eli Drake versus Killer Ross. Oh yeah, that did happen. That did happen. Let me see. Let me see if it really is 43.5 seconds. Because if so... Oh. Miriam said he said I would have done it in 43.5 seconds if I were you. Oh, okay.
Oh.
But they did have a match. They did have a match for heavyweight championship. Okay.
Wow.
17 minutes.
Long fucking match. Wow.
Oh wait, no, that wasn't Impact. That wasn't Impact. That was
That Ring of Honor?
FSW.
Ew.
Future Stars of Wrestling. Okay. Alright, so then we get Cameron Grimes and Ted DiBiase. Ted, as they're walking out of the building, says, like all good things, this has to end. Cameron said, as much fun as I had as champion, this is your legacy. It belongs to you. He hands him the million dollar championship, and Ted says, I want you to have it. Every time you look at it, remember there's only $1 million man. Cameron says, it doesn't. He's like kind of feeling it and giggling at everything. He's like, this doesn't feel right. Is this WWE Replica Championship? You switched the championship. That damn Ted DiBiase as Ted's driving away. So we got one last swindle in. Then there's an interview with Kyle O'Reilly, but it's interrupted by Duke Hudson, who walks in. I don't know what he said, but it provoked Kyle to push him, and then Duke fucking slammed his head into the lockers over and over and over. Oh my god. Oh my god.
I'm so excited. And this is like everything I did not expect.
Mm-hmm.
Because I kind of thought once the breakout tournament was over, say goodbye to job security. I mean, I guess they still. But
like the last breakout tournament, it was like everyone went on to do something except the winner.
Well, but regardless, I was just because of the climate lately, I was worried. I was like, well,
yeah,
a lot of these guys don't fit the bill. But knowing that they're giving Duke this feud is pretty fucking sick.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for this. And I'm excited to see Duke in like a longer match because the breakout tournament matches were pretty short.
Yeah. And Duke, I hope it's a feud that will push Duke and he gets over on Kyle.
Yeah.
Because the dude deserves it. He's got a great fighting style.
Yeah, and he's been around for a minute now.
Mm-hmm. So then we get the finals to the NXT Breakout Tournament. Odyssey Jones versus Carmelo Hayes.
Yeehaw. So Odyssey drives Carmelo into the corner, and Carmelo goes up top. Comes down in a side headlock on Odyssey. Odyssey gets him off pretty easily. God. So Odyssey then extends his hand for like a little handshake, and Carmelo's like, yeah, sure. Shakes his hand, brings him back into a side headlock. There's an elbow to the face of Carmelo. Carmelo is then fucking launched across the ring. Ends up coming out of the ring. Hayes ends up getting back in the ring, hits Odyssey with an arm. Then a drop kick. Good.
Yeah. Seeing things.
Good.
Thought I saw a bug.
I keep hearing like someone hammering something. It's stressing me the fuck out. Anyways. Carmelo wants the pump kick. He gets caught. Still ends up hitting Odyssey with an enziguri. He goes for like a springboard crossbody off the second rope. Gets caught right in the air. Slammed to the ground. Hayes ends up eventually getting up after being like obliterated like that. Sends some knees to Odyssey in the corner. He wants a pump kick, but Odyssey lifts Carmelo and like lays him across the top rope, sort of like in the corner, and clubs him until he falls down. There's then a sleeper on Jones and a front face lock. Odyssey starts fighting back, but that just makes Hayes squeeze tighter. There's a pump kick as Carmelo comes off the ropes to Jones. And then a successful springboard crossbody, but Jones still kind of stays up. He kind of half no-sells it. There's another pump kick and a jumping knee under the jaw to Jones. Odyssey kind of... Carmelo kind of thinks he's caught Jones. Oh, no. Fuck. Notes got fucked up. Odyssey thinks that he's caught Jones, Carmelo Hayes. Fuck me. Let me try that again. Let me take a sip. Alright. Odyssey thinks that he has caught Carmelo as he jumps up in the air, ends up getting DDT'd, scissor kick to the back of the neck. Jones still kicks at like 2 count. There's a shoulder breaker to Carmelo that I've never seen before. I've never seen a shoulder breaker before. And then a kick to the ear of Jones. Hayes dodges Jones, sending him into the post. We get another scissor kick to Jones. Carmelo wants another one. Jones, however, splashes down onto Hayes, but Hayes manages to maneuver a crucifix pin in order to win. Carmelo Hayes is bleeding across the brow bone. Odyssey Jones is like spitting blood, which makes me think that he may have lost a tooth. Because that much blood. Mm-hmm. I think losing a tooth is probably the best case scenario.
Yeah, there was a pump knee right to Jones's jaw. And Carmelo even made a face that looked like it wasn't entirely intentional, and maybe it was going for his chest. But no, it hit him square in the chin.
It's also important to say that apparently Tim Thatcher is now indefinitely unable to compete because of the attack from Ridge. I don't know what the fuck that means. I forgot to say that when we were talking about the match itself. Mm-hmm. Stresses me out a little bit, man. Like, I'm sure it's kayfabe, but like stresses me out a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? But hopefully we see him back soon. And then after the match, we have a little post-match interview with Carmelo on the ramp. And Regal's there to hand him the contract. And Carmelo says, "Odyssey, you're no joke. It's way too early to decide who I'm facing, but I called my shot. And when I shoot my shot, I don't miss." Then we get Pete, Ridge, Oni, and Danny in a promo. Pete says, "You know how this ends. The Bruiserweight NXT champion." Oni says, "Danny and I didn't lose the NXT Tag Team Championship, so we're going for that against MSK." Ridge says, "Tommaso Ciampa, you'll end up just like Thatcher." And then Ridge says, "We are finishing this." Or we started a lot of things, but we are finishing it now, or whatever. We then get a promo of Boa, but it happened so fast that I didn't get a chance to write anything down. But then we had Boa versus Zion Quinn.
I have 2 notes here. Boa basically pummels Zion for a minute or two. Until Zion... So Boa turns to face Mei Ying. Like, kind of like, gives him like the cue to like, go ahead, finish this off. The moment Boa turns around, huge forearms from Zion Quinn right to the fucking face. Zion wins somehow, and then he goes to like walk back up the ramp, and Mei Ying's standing there, and he's just like, maybe not today.
It was like a distraction. It was a distraction, but like Boa distracted himself, I guess. Like Mei Ying yelled something at him, he bowed, and then he got attacked from behind.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Also Zion Quinn, like...
So after that, we got Johnny Gargano and William Regal. This was so funny. Johnny says, "I always saw you as a member of our family. how about you cancel the wedding? And Regal's like, well, why would I do that? Why? That doesn't make any sense. Why would I? Johnny said, well, it's dumb. It's bad TV. It's dumb. It shouldn't happen. Regal says, but it's good TV. And they go back and forth between bad TV, good TV, bad TV, good TV. Johnny's like, Regal says, it's good TV because you're acting cuckoo bananas right now over it. I never thought I would hear William Regal say cuckoo bananas.
Bill had like a couple weeks of like solace while Joe was taking care of things, and he's kind of like coming off of that now.
Yeah. And then LA Knight runs in and he says, hey dummy, do something about Samoa Joe and his bowling ball head. The fucking bowling ball head. LA Knight and Johnny are kind of arguing and yelling as they're getting kicked out of Regal's office. That feud is going to be so good. I am so excited for LA Knight versus Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's a partnership. Or he's the uncle of the way.
So, but can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
I saw an article saying that Johnny was supposed to be the next big heel.
Yeah.
This promo did not give me that. Unless, like, he goes crazy at the wedding.
Yeah, no, I don't see that happening. And Johnny's never been, like, a big heel material. He's been entertaining heel. Not big heel. Like, not Karrion Kross, not Roman Reigns-esque.
I'm not scared of him.
Right. If anything, I see, like, Pete Dunne being the big heel. You know?
Yeah. I feel like Ridge is being set up to be the big heel.
Yeah. Maybe Pat McAfee returns.
No, if he leaves Michael, I'm gonna cry.
He could fly back and forth. There's enough days between NXT and SmackDown to fly back and forth.
And what is Pat really doing anyways?
You know, it's not like he has a show or anything.
Do that on the weekend.
We then get a promo for Diamond Mine. Malcolm Bivens is talking to the camera, and he says, Roderick Strong is teaching a master class with two athletes. The Creed brothers are national champs. We push ourselves beyond limits. Roddy will be issuing an open challenge to prove to Kushida what a champion is next week. And then finally, we get Hit Row versus Legado del Fantasma, a 6-man tag match.
Or so we thought.
8-man tag match.
Fuck, this was so good. And you know what's worse? The one downside to this. Could have had 3 of these things. 3, count them. 1, 2, 3. Anyways. So, this is a lot of notes because a lot happened in like the span of 10 minutes. Legado immediately attack Row. Wild and Mendoza hold Top Dollar while Santos goes to, like, I probably kick him in the chest or send a running knee to his face. I don't know. But as he backs up, B-Fab grabs his legs, stops him. Ashante and Swerve pull Mendoza and Wild out. Wild ends up being the legal man. He's immediately launched. He's tossed into the Hit Row corner. Ashante gets in. Abdallah whips Ashante into Wild, and then Ashante jabs at Mendoza on the apron. He whips Wild back into the corner, brings him down with feet to the gut. Like, those words don't describe it well enough. Like, I guess, like, if you did, like, a backstabber, but it's like a gut buster, but it's not a gut buster. Mm. It should be called a gut buster, but it's not what a gut buster is.
Right.
Gut stabber. All I can say. Like if you took like an arm drag and a backstabber and a gut buster and smacked them together.
Yeah.
Maybe a drop kick. So does that. He does it twice. He does it again to Mendoza. There's a drop kick through the ropes to Wild, and then ringside go. Ashante flapjacks Wild on the ground. Bad. Mendoza then clothesline Swerve. Once we come back from commercial break, they're the two that are in. Mendoza clotheslines him. We start doing our rapid tags where it's Kyle gets in, does his clothesline. Santos gets in, does his little whistle and his clothesline. Finally, the last person that we have in after that is Escobar. He hits a vertical suplex to Swerve. Mendoza and Wild get in together. They hit an assisted springboard crossbody onto Swerve. Swerve does like a weird fucking cartwheel kick to avoid Mendoza. I didn't know what this was supposed to be, and it didn't look like it was supposed to be what it was. But Wild gets in. He stops Swerve from tagging out. Swerve swings at all of Legado del Fantasma. There's a big knee drop to Wild. Santos gets in. Swerve dodges him, gets Top Dollar in. There's some forearms to Santos and a knee to the face of Santos. Top Dollar slams Santos down with a sidewalk slam. There's a cover, but Wild and Mendoza help break it up. Top Dollar gets Mendoza on his shoulders, and he runs into Wild and gets him on his shoulders. And then Santos runs at Top Dollar and is then caught in the front. And then Top Dollar just like tosses one. He like kind of like bucks one off and tosses the other two down. And I was like, okay, get it. Horrifying. So Santos hits a drop kick to Top Dollar's knees though, and then an enziguri gets him out of the ring. Adonis ends up being the legal man. He's being brutalized by literally all of Legado. Mendoza and Wild get in together. They hit a 2-on-1 Alabama slam. And then they rip his legs apart. And then there's a team sliding drop kick. Mendoza's the freshly legal man, so he drop kicks Adonis. Swerve wants in. We finally get Santos versus Swerve. There's a punch to the jaw of Swerve and a flatliner to Santos. Swerve goes up top and Wild distracts. Adonis stops Wild. Mendoza distracts. Top Dollar cannonballs into all of those men. Finally, Swerve goes down with the 450 onto Santos after all of that is said and done. There's an arm drag to Swerve, who then tosses Santos from the ring. Santos wants a pump kick on the apron, but Swerve wants a pump kick on the apron. Santos sweeps his legs from under him, sending him face first into the apron. Efab shoves Santos into the post. And then a woman comes out. A woman that... It was funny because I mentioned her earlier in the episode. Valentina came out and I was like, it can't be Elektra. I know that's not her hair color, but maybe she dyed it. Then Elektra comes out at this match with a fucking pipe. Which, you know, she's taking after BFAB really with that because BFAB had the pipe last time.
Yeah.
Elektra comes out to basically challenge BFAB, and now we got 3 men and a lady, 3 men and a lady. Could have had that too with a different group, but it's fine. I liked this. This was good.
Yeah, this was fantastic. Great, really great stuff. And that's our recap of NXT. Now we go into the review part. Best of the night. After our best of the night, we'll be doing the question segment. If you have a question for us and you're watching the live show, leave it in the chat now, and we'll get to it after the best of the night. If you're watching on YouTube, leave it in the comments, and we will answer it in the next show. Alright, so, promo of the night. I don't think I even need to think about it. Do you know what you're going to pick?
I think I do.
I mean, for the sake of just comedy, I'm picking Johnny and Regal.
I absolutely will agree with you on that.
I wanted to go with Joe and everyone else, but that was just so chaotic by the end.
That was too much. Like, At first I was like, oh, 4-man match. They'll figure it out from there. But
yeah. So now let's do Wrestler of the Night. Man, I don't know who I want to pick for Wrestler of the Night. I'll go one by one. So we started off with Ridge Holland versus Timothy Thatcher. I'm going to go with Ridge. Because like I've already mentioned on the podcast, When it comes to a technical wrestler like Timothy Thatcher or Daniel Bryan, somebody like that, the most impressive thing to watch is not somebody doing that technical wrestling, it's somebody countering and breaking out of that style. And Ridge really did a good job with that and actually posed like a huge threat to Thatcher, which Thatcher looked like he would dominate everyone, and now we have this imposing force that seemed to easily contest Thatcher. After that, we had Casey Catanzaro and Caden versus Gigi Dolan and JC Jane. Go with Caden. I don't know. Casey wasn't very exciting this match. She didn't have a ton of in-ring time. Caden got the most spotlight, and she seemed to pull off the most unique offense out of the whole group. So I'll go with her. Then we had Kaylee Ray versus Valentina Feroz. And obviously Kaylee Ray. Valentina didn't really do anything. This was just a showcase for Kaylee. And then Odyssey Jones versus Carmelo Hayes. I'm going with Carmelo. The dude rocked it. Carmelo is so good. He is incredible. He's got it all. He's got it all.
He smiles and I'm just like
yeah.
It's ridiculous. I hate it.
Yeah, his style was so good in this match. His charisma, everything he did was just executed almost flawlessly. Then we had Boa versus Zion Quinn. I guess I'll go with Zion Quinn. I guess.
Look good.
Yeah, you looked pretty good.
He gives me this vibe of like, that's a wrestler that they want here.
Yeah. Yeah. Watch next week. Released.
Just have fun for one day.
Alright, and finally, Hit Row versus Legado del Fantasma. I'm gonna go with Swerve, actually. Swerve was a ton of fun to watch. He got a ton of in-ring time. His character work in the match was fantastic. Second in this match is Top Dollar, but Top Dollar didn't have a ton of in-ring time, so it was much less of a showcase for him as it was for Swerve. Swerve killed it. He really did. That 450 was insane. So, oh god, I don't know who I want to pick. It's not Ridge, it's not Caden, it's not Kaylee, it's not Zion. Either Carmelo or Swerve. Which one are you picking?
I pick Carmelo.
Okay, I'll go with Carmelo too.
He the full package and he stresses me out because he's so perfect.
Yeah.
I cannot stand it. It makes me furious. He's beautiful.
He is somebody who will, if he doesn't get released for being not a massive dude, he will amount up to great things in WWE.
If he doesn't get released, dude is going to run NXT in like a year.
He will be the next Adam Cole.
That was exactly what I thought when I saw him today. I was like, it's just Adam Cole, baby. Except not Adam Cole.
And a cruiserweight.
Is Adam Cole not a cruiserweight?
He's technically a light heavyweight, according to WWE 2K20. Alright. So, match of the night? You want to do that?
It's 200 pounds.
Cole?
Yeah.
I see.
Continue.
Alright, so match of the night. As always, we'll go from worst to best. Nothing too horrible today. The worst thing, with a 4 out of 10, is Kaylee Ray versus Valentina Feroz. It was just it was a enhancement talent match. Nothing special. It was fine. Next up, with a 5 out of 10, Boa versus Zion Quinn. Wasn't a very entertaining match, except for the fact that Zion Quinn got the upset victory. So, that's a takeaway from it. Next up, also 5 out of 10, Casey Catanzaro and Caden versus Gigi Dolan and JC Jane. Wasn't too sports entertained by this one. I don't know. It was a decent enough match. Um, I guess I'm just not sold on Gigi and JC. Gigi has some good in-ring work, but I feel like they both need to work on their gimmicks, and hopefully Mandy will help them.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Weirdly enough, I'm really hoping that Mandy does something.
Yeah. Next up, another 5 out of 10. Ridge Holland versus Timothy Thatcher. It was a decent match. I mean, wasn't special. Definitely not the best match from either of these guys. But I was a little sports entertained. So it was decently fun. Next up is with a 7 out of 10, Odyssey Jones versus Carmelo Hayes. Great match. This was so good. This was such a great match. Yeah, really great stuff from these guys. It almost kind of breaks my heart because it seemed like they were both coming off as friends or like warm with each other.
What hurt me was when Odyssey got out of the ring and like Carmelo had to stop him.
Yeah.
Like kind of like shake his hand. I was like,
that was definitely impromptu.
It hurt me because I was like, Odyssey, no. Be sad.
Yeah,
You're exactly what Vince wants.
Yeah, the match was a ton of fun. And both of these guys will be huge. Alright, so finally, match of the night with a 9 out of 10. Hit Row versus Legado del Fantasma. Such a great match. This was so great. Everyone looked phenomenal. The story between these guys was exceptional. The ending was great. The only thing I would have changed to make it a 10 out of 10 is if BFAB hadn't successfully, rammed Santos into the post. Like, if we got that little reveal of Elektra and the thing between her and BFAB without it impacting the match, albeit in a minor way. But it was still fantastic. It was amazing. Do you agree?
I do. This was a great match. It had a lot of fun moments. It had a lot of interesting moves, and it had a lot of story development that I didn't expect us to get.
Would you say you were thoroughly sports entertained?
This match, or by everything?
This match.
I was very sports entertained.
Yeah.
I mean, I would probably rank everything in the same way because I mean, Carmelo and Odyssey are pretty much like my next runners up.
Mm. All right. So now that we did the promo or best of the night, run it back. Promo of the night: Johnny and Regal. Talk about the wedding. Wrestler of the night: Carmelo Hayes. Match of the night: Hit Row versus Legado del Fantasma. All right, you want to answer some questions? Do you?
Said sure.
I didn't hear you. All right, so we've got one on the on the Raw podcast. Where did Milam leave this comment? Oh, hold on, let me refresh. I would have sworn I saw him on NXT. I saw a comment earlier. Okay. What's your guys' position on part-time talent and or older talent in WWE and AEW? It always seems like a controversial subject.
I don't know. It's cool to see people like Cena. It's cool to see people like Edge.
Mm-hmm.
It's sometimes we see Goldberg. But I don't know. It's hard. Edge is less on my list right now because Edge has been like doing storylines that aren't for titles.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Um, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of it when it comes to a lot of it, I guess. I don't like Goldberg coming in. I don't mind John Cena coming in because I miss John Cena, but like
let me
was
put it
Finn.
in a better way because I feel like I get what you're talking about.
Hmm.
Having part-timers come back is a lot of fun, but having them jump the line and get priority for titles and stuff, that is not fun. Brock Lesnar coming in immediately after Roman beat Cena. I don't want to see Roman versus Brock now. Give us a gap. Show him, reveal him at Extreme Rules. They only revealed Brock because AEW revealed CM Punk.
Finn was literally next in line. Besides Seth. Seth doesn't count because Seth's off his rocker. Seth was busy.
I mean, Cena coming in, that's fine. But even then, it wasn't great because he just jumped the line. Now if you do something like, I don't think there's been any part-timers in AEW. Not that I've seen. I mean, well, let's think part-timers, Jay White on Impact.
That doesn't count because he's full-time somewhere.
Right, but I'm just talking about on the roster. So Jay White on Impact, he's not going for a title. He's chasing Finjuice and arrived at Impact to take care of them.
I'm like something just hit my door and I saw it move, but the cat is not out there, so
that's weird. Yeah. Jay White coming in and having a storyline rather than like just going for the title. That's a good way to do it. I can't call CM Punk a part-timer because it seems like he's in it full-time now. But Edge coming in, he worked his ass to get to the title. He didn't immediately get that shot. Brock, Becky, I guess Becky's full-time now, but Brock, Goldberg, they're all jumping the line just for the title. And the worst part is, you know they're going to lose because they're not going to put the title on a part-timer right now.
Becky's not a part-timer, I don't think. I think Becky's back.
I corrected myself.
Yeah, I don't know. It again, like with Ted, it was fun.
Yeah,
because Ted was just there.
Yeah,
I don't like, and especially because like John Cena, I didn't mind quite as much because originally it was Edge. Edge still came back afterwards, which kind of made it feel worth it. And then John came and it was like, okay, fine. But for Brock to come in right after that, when we know that Finn was literally this fucking close to having the match, it's frustrating.
I mean, Corbin was that close too.
This time with Goldberg, I didn't hate it as much.
I hated it because he literally just came in and screamed, "I'm next," and if that's what makes you next, then that sucks.
I guess the reason I didn't hate it as much as last time, more so, is because last time didn't make sense.
Because it was on Legends Night.
Oh, remember it was because they fucked up promo.
Oh, right.
Remember they went too long?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I don't hate it as much, because it's like they fucked up the promo and then they ran with that promo and it was like
Yeah. I still can't think of any part-timers on AEW. I'm trying to think of like people from Impact or something, but nothing comes to mind.
I don't think there's that many part-timers.
All right. So, Miriam now has a question. Do you think they're going to fold NXT UK and just merge it with NXT US? No, I don't think so. Because
Go on.
they NXT UK is their way of getting developmental from across the ocean,
Across the pond,
across the pond. And if they folded it and combined it with NXT Prime, they would have to force all of the European talent to fly to Florida, and that would severely hinder all of the talent that comes in from Europe. Yeah.
They probably also have more push to pay them a livable wage.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't see that happening. I would quicker say that I see 05 Live folding than I would say NXT UK. I think there's a chance. I think because NXT UK doesn't really cost them that much money is half the reason why I don't think they'd ever just like drop it. I do, however, think that massive plan that they had where they were like, we're going to have an NXT India and an NXT Japan and all this shit. I don't think that's happening anymore.
Well, they have their Japanese brand, which Kairi is actively commentating for.
I thought that was just like Japanese commentators. I don't think WWE has a Japanese brand.
Yeah, they do. Because Kairi still is like the liaison for WWE over in Japan. I don't know about India, but let's see.
Yeah, there's nothing that I can see. I mean, there's WWE Japan, but
let's see.
It's like
NXT Japan. Oh, I guess you're right. As the top article says, WWE's plans to launch NXT Japan dead in the water.
I was gonna say, because I was like, I feel like I know enough that I would know if that happened. You're really gonna like open something up to my eyes there.
I thought it was just something that they just never broadcasted.
No, I think Kairi is the liaison for what they like the pillar that they have over there.
Well, I guess I'm wrong. But yeah, I don't think NXT UK is gonna fold. Not anytime soon.
I can see why we would think that. I think they're bringing in so much young talent too right now that there's still a good opportunity for things to kind of like balance back out now that they've like there's a chance Walter's going to be on NXT US more often and Kaylee's gone.
Yeah. I feel like Vince will be very happy with Ridge Holland, with Walter, Kaylee Ray.
I always forget that Ridge was over there.
I don't know if he was.
I think he was. I'm almost positive he was.
But yeah, I feel like he'd be happy with these guys and see the potential in NXT UK and see that it doesn't cost much money because they're not paying them well. Yeah. So, what?
Okay, he was on NXT UK, but he also played rugby first.
So he can take hits. Except when he lands on somebody and shatters both of his legs.
When he lands on Oni Lorcan.
Yeah, Oni's known to be explosive.
Yeah.
All right, so Miriam has another question. She asks, what kind of shenanigans do you think are going to happen at the Index wedding? Will Austin come back? No. Austin will not come back. No.
Maybe they'll like have like a reference like, Austin sent me this gift or something like that. I think Johnny's gonna go absolutely bananas. I think he's gonna lose his shit.
I think LA Knight's gonna go bananas. Johnny's gonna try and keep it together for the sake of like his family, but he would be working with LA Knight to ruin the wedding.
Oh, imagine he walks Indy down the aisle and then almost kills Dexter because he's got to give her away.
Yeah.
Cute.
I mean,
antiquated but cute.
LA Knight and Dexter do have a little bit of history, if we remember from the North American title qualifiers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
So there's backstory there.
I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be Impact level where like Johnny Bravo got like shot at his wedding. I don't think it's gonna quite be that.
Yeah, no.
Unfortunately.
Although it does seem like they're like going back to the ridiculous Attitude Era stuff where just like anything's up in the air. Like anything can happen.
We haven't had a WWE wedding in a while, and we almost did. We almost fucking did. Thank God we didn't.
With Murphy and Aaliyah?
Yeah, we got like this close to it, and then suddenly Murphy and Aaliyah were gone forever.
Do you think they would have done a Ric Flair, Lacey Evans wedding?
They probably would have.
I feel like it'd be so fun to see LA Knight do some shit at the wedding. Let's see, what else could he do?
I can't wait for Johnny to lose it entirely. I cannot wait for that.
Dexter would have to say, I do.
Probably just like...
Well, either he doesn't say... Like, Johnny would probably be like, come on, Dexter, you gotta say it. Or it doesn't happen. So, maybe those are his first words.
Oh my god, I don't want to hear him talk. I don't want to hear him talk.
He has such an average voice.
Does he?
Yeah. Have you not heard his his cameos? Oh, he's got such an average voice. Like, it's normal.
Oh my god. Really? Is it deeper though?
Not really. It's not very deep.
I don't think I want to hear that.
Yeah, I feel like the not speaking and having to say I do will really come into play. All right. So that is the end of our Miriam said he's going to paint a big sign that says I do and just hold it up. Good. You could. All right.
I don't like him talking. I don't like him talking. I've experienced it. I've chosen I don't like it. Thank you for listening to my opinions. And speaking of listening to my opinions,
no offense, Dexter Loomis, if you're watching, your voice is not awful.
your voice is very normal, Dexter. I think it's just I didn't know what to expect. Honestly, I didn't expect him to have a voice. Really, I think that's more of the problem here.
It's like he just sounds like Robert Stone.
Well, that's his friend, so it's fine.
That's why I say that.
Congrats, Dexter, on having a normal and incredibly normal voice. Anyways, going off that segue, speaking of my opinions, if you enjoyed listening to my opinions tonight, and you enjoyed listening to Marcus as well, you should tune in to our SmackDown podcast, where we'll also have opinions, and we'll also talk about those opinions, and then we'll probably have to talk about the Bianca Becky thing again, which, anyways, and if you tuned in tonight, thank you. If you tuned in the future, thank you. Happy Labor Day. Try not to labor. Yeah.
Let us know if you want us to do a WWE 2K20 Universe Mode stream. Let us know on Twitter, in the comments, in the chat on the live show. Or,
There's a chance we'll do it anyways.
Or send us a DM. We're going to do one for 2K22 for sure. We just want to know if people would like to see us resume our 2K20 Universe Mode on stream.
Yeah.
But yeah. Thank you all so much for watching. Follow and subscribe. Our YouTube is the Pinfall Podcast. All of our previous episodes are on there. If you're watching on YouTube, check out the live show, twitch.tv/the Pinfall Podcast. Why not watch? Our Twitter is at Pinfall Podcast. My Twitter is at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eliza Elaine23. And we'll see you on the Friday. Miriam said 2K20 stream will be sick as hell. You guys should do it.
Okay.
All right. We'll give more updates on
My
Twitter.
brand is horrible.
We'll give more updates on Twitter. Follow us at Pinfall Podcast. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you on Friday.